Morning. I'm gonna wait a few minutes, not minutes, but probably about 30 seconds, allow people a little time to log into our webinar, then we'll get started. So just give me a few seconds here. All righty, well, let's get started. Thank you very much for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about the Defense Production Act, Title III, and actually we're going to talk about Defense Production Act, but most of what we're going to talk about today is about Title III. First, a little bit about who we are. Oops, I forgot to update this. This is not National Apex Accelerator Day, but Apex Accelerators were formerly called PTACs. There's 96 across the United States, 7 within California, and they're funded through the Department of Defense. Locally, we're administered by the Monterey County Business Council, and Apex Accelerators have basically been around since 1985. Congress has approved it, and they continue to, and I don't think we're going anywhere. And the mission of all Apex Accelerators across the country is to promote economic growth and employment opportunities by helping you to sell to the government. We do this by facilitating your access to, although we're federally funded, federal, state, or local government opportunities. Just to kind of give you an idea, though, we're this teal area in the middle of the state. These other colored areas are the other PTACs that you see listed here, stacked. So if you're in this on this webinar and you're from one of these other areas, you can either reach out to us or just reach out to one of these by doing a internet search, and all of them have just very qualified counselors that can help you out on your path to government contracting. One thing I'll mention too right away is that this presentation, you'll receive a copy of all my slides and then also a link to the recording, so you want to listen to it again. All Apex Accelerators provide these basic services. First and foremost is it's confidential services to you, and it's through one-on-one counseling, meeting with you, learning about your business, what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and then your goals with government contracting. So then we can kind of develop a plan for your success. A lot of what we do is pre-award assistance. Help you basically find opportunities that are out there, help you to review those notices so that you kind of understand some of the things that are in there. Because if it's the first time you're looking at one of these notices, it can be daunting. Sometimes they're 100 pages long and you can just go, gosh, where do I even start with this? Capability statements is basically it's a tool to present yourself to government or even prime contractors who do a lot of federal government, who have requirements to subcontract to other companies. We can teach you about them, what they are, etc., help you prepare one. Post-award assistance, like any business, if you're in business, conflicts arise. We can kind of coach you on maybe how to handle a conflict, talk to you about debriefs, and then protest. Oftentimes you may submit a offer and you feel that you've been wrongly not awarded a contract, and you may want to consider maybe approach. We can talk to you about it, the logistics of it, etc., whether it makes sense or not for your business. Outreach events, as we are aware of outreach events, we push those out to you, encourage you to attend those, help you prepare for those events, etc. We're often there either just educating the public of who we are, what we do, but we're also kind of like today, oftentimes sitting on a panel or giving a presentation and doing some type of training. These webinars that we're doing, we'll just continue to do them. We found it to be a very easy way to hit a lot more people than in-person events. Bid matching is something that all PTACs are required to provide. And basically what it is We use third-party vendor that we'll work with you, put together a profile, upload that profile into their system. Their systems will go out on a daily basis and search literally thousands of websites where contracting opportunities are posted. Any matches to your profile and the opportunities that are listed on those websites then are emailed directly to you. So it saves you a bunch of time having to do that yourself. And then navigating certification programs. You know, we all hear about certification, women-owned small business, veteran-owned businesses, these 8A programs, disadvantaged business enterprise, the DBE program. We can talk to you about qualifications for those, whether it makes sense for your business or not. Oftentimes, yes, you can qualify for one of these certifications, but our experience has shown that in certain industries, the certifications really don't help you at all. So ideally, you're in an industry where you're seeing contract opportunities set aside for that socioeconomic group that you're part of. So then it makes sense, and we definitely will want to help you get through that process. One of the great things about us is that we're your tax dollars at work, so there's no fees or commitment. So we're here to help you, but we would never charge you a fee for any of the assistance we provide you. Likewise to us, I'd like to introduce to you Destiny Iglesias, who's with the SBDC network. Talk a little bit about what it is that they do and then how they're just a great partner of ours.
Thank you, Victor. Yes, as Victor mentioned, I'm Destiny Iglesias. I am the Community Education Specialist here at UC Merced SBDC. As you may have heard, Cal Coastal SBDC is now closed, and we have a new center that will be opened up soon, which is the Central Coast SBDC, hosted by Monterey County Business Council. So we're very excited about that. A little bit about the SBDC. There's around 1,000 SBDC centers nationwide. Monterey and San Benito counties are part of the Central California SBDC network that provide one-on-one, no fee business advising, training, and access to comprehensive resources and information to help businesses start, grow, and succeed. SBDCs provide financial education, business plan guidance, and marketing tips that can help businesses get started with government contracts of all sizes. Our services complement Apex Accelerator services, so we recommend that you sign up for services from both of our organizations, especially because it's no cost to you. So if you aren't already an SBDC client, check out the Central California SBDC website and click the green Get Started button, because services are continuing during the transition. Thanks for joining us, and I'll pass it back to Victor.
Thank you, Destiny. Yes, SBDCs are great. Oftentimes we're get clients that'll sign up for us for services, but they're brand new. Maybe they haven't even started their business yet. And trying to get some direction, and the SBDC is just a great resource to help you in that regard. They do great workshops, like they say here on this slide, social media, websites, those kinds of things, and especially about with funding. So take advantage of that. I'll take your questions at the end. In fact, I already have one here. Somebody probably wants to know. I'm in Kern County, so yeah. I'll take your questions at the end, but Kern County is represented by the Golden State Apex Accelerator. Our friends down there, Angela Watson and her team, will definitely be able to help you out. So here's our agenda today. I'm just going to give you a little bit background on the Defense Production Act. Talk a little bit more just about the act itself, and then focus down really on what we're talking about today, DPA, Defense Production Act, Title III, and you'll understand what I'm talking about here. Then we'll talk about just eligibility, investment areas, and then finding and pursuing the opportunities that the government has in this program. So, so here's some background on it. The Defense Production Act is actually modeled after the World War II War Powers Act. If you kind of know your history a little bit, back in World War II, the federal government, put limits on setting wages, pricing, rationing certain items like gasoline and other things. So it kind of started from that. But basically it was adopted in the Cold War during the Korean War. One thing about the Defense Production Act is that it's not a permanent authority, so it's not permanent. But yet it's authorized for 6 years. Ever since it was formed back in 1950 during the Cold War, though, it's been reauthorized every single time by Congress. So it was last reauthorized by Congress in 2019. It'll expire in 2025 if not renewed. But again, more than likely it'll be renewed, and it's really just not going anywhere. So I'm going to read this to you. But so the Defense Production Act provides the president a broad set of authorities to ensure that domestic industry can meet national defense requirements. In the Defense Production Act, Congress has found that the security of the United States is dependent on the ability of the domestic industrial base to supply materials and services for the national defense and to prepare for and respond to military conflicts, natural man-made caused disasters, or acts of terrorism within the United States. Actually, this DPA, the Defense Production Act, during COVID, it was a lot of the funding that went through the Defense Production Act. I'm going to talk about these, but they're basically the way the DPA is structured. There's these titles, Title 1, 3, and 7. There used to be, back in 1950, actually 7 different titles, but since then, they've actually eliminated 2, 4, 5, and 6, and now there's only 3. But in Title 1, we're going to talk a little bit more about each one of these in detail, but it's about priorities and allocation authority. It provides authority for loans and direct investment in Title 3, and that's most of what we're going to talk about today. And then Title 7 is stipulation, basically, that there's a preference for the utilization of small businesses. So the Title 1 basically authorizes the president to put this in motion. So it allows the president to require persons, including business and corporations, to prioritize and accept contracts for materials and services deemed necessary for national defense, disaster response, and other national emergencies. So again, we think about it as more, for national defense, but a lot of this is in response to disasters and national emergencies. DPA authorities can be and have been used by other federal government departments and agencies. So again, though we think of national defense and Department of Defense, you think of FEMA as an example, responding to disasters, those types of things, or like Health and Human Services dealing with COVID. Then this went into effect. So Title 3 is our main topic today. Is basically is to expand the production capacity and supply. So the president may authorize an agency to make loans or direct investments to private businesses to address projected shortfalls of essential resources, technology items, or materials. So that's the big part here. And it's done to create, maintain, protect, expand, or restore the industrial base. President may make provisions for purchases of or commitments to purchase an industrial resource or a critical technology item. So and then Title 7 is where I mentioned earlier, is a preference for small businesses. So small businesses, this is written in the regulations, should be given maximum practicable opportunity to participate as contractors and subcontractors at various tiers. So again, you want to make sure that small business can be part of this, that it's not exclusively for large businesses. Title 7 is also kind of a catch-all for a lot of the definitions and many other regulations that are part of the Defense Production Act. So again, just now, let's just kind of delve a little bit deeper here in the rest of this presentation, just on Defense Production Act Title III. It's a program dedicated to ensuring the timely availability of essential domestic industrial resources to support national defense and homeland security requirements. The program works in partnership with the uniformed services, other government agencies, and industry to identify areas where critical industrial capacity is lagging or non-existent. Once an area is identified, the program engages with domestic companies to mitigate these risks using grants, purchase commitments, loans, or loans guarantee. And this is, again, a quote by the Assistant Secretary of Defense. So Title III, as just mentioned there, a lot of it is just loans and loan guarantees. So the government basically will give a direct loan to a company that they want to manufacture something, design something, etc. In many cases, they won't give a loan, but they'll be the guarantor on the loan. So the bank will actually give the loan to the company, but the U.S. government is guaranteeing that loan. And it's used basically to expand or establish capacity for, various industries, whatever has been defined. And I'll kind of show you some of the things that the government is looking to fund under the DPA. Purchasing commitments. The other thing it enables is that the government will make a commitment that we will buy. You make it, we'll buy it. So there's a commitment to that company. So the company may think, well, yeah, we could build more of these things, but there's no guarantee that you're going to buy it. So the government basically says, we commit, we will guarantee that you make it, we'll buy it. So it makes it a really strong incentive for a company to engage into the program. And then grants. So there might be an opportunity where the government basically is just going to say, yes, we want this, and we're just going to give you the money to go out and do it. You don't have to pay us back as you would up here in the loan or loan guarantee. So the funding, where does the money come from? So basically, there's a special Defense Production Act fund. And it's continually funded by Congress, and it's a separate fund than some of the other appropriations that you've seen. Like you've probably seen this past year as an example that there was a lot of worry that the government wouldn't be funded because of a budget not being passed. Well, it didn't have any effect on these DPA funds. The Title III funds are no year appropriations. And what that means is basically they don't expire. The money is there. And if they don't spend the money stays there. Unlike appropriated funds, you get a budget, but if you don't spend everything in your budget, then of course, next time around that money goes away. And then maybe next time around, you don't have access to that same level of budget that you did. But with these Title III funds, they're just there, and they're replenished on a regular basis to fund all the things that the government has indicated that they want to fund. So eligibility to qualify for an award of a Title III project, an entity must be a domestic source. And what does domestic source mean? It just means that it has to be a US-based company. And the other thing is typically, no, I don't say typically, but oftentimes, in order to manufacture something, the prime contractor might need several subcontractors to build other components that maybe goes into a final product that they sell to the government. Likewise, those subcontractors also need to be a domestic source. They need to be a US-based company, or Canada is considered a domestic source. So again, Canada is just our strongest friendly country, so they're considered a domestic source. So I want to just talk about this a little bit. And eligibility is foreign nationals can be employed by a Title III recipient. But again, this next bullet point says, however, foreign nationals are limited to receiving public domain information unless government permission is obtained. So public domain information is information that any one of us can, easily find on the internet. I mean, it's out in the public domain, but as far as any kind of access to confidential information that the company might have or the government has, they would not be given access to it. There is a provision where an exception can be made. I don't know if how many of you maybe saw the film recently, Oppenheimer, but individuals who weren't U.S. citizens were allowed to work on that project just because of the special knowledge that they brought to the program. So that's still in place, but there certainly is a lot of investigation onto who those individuals, why they need to be part of the team, those types of things. But again, if they possess some kind of unique skills or expertise in a certain area that the government wants to pursue, they will allow it. Next one, offers are required to register in SAM.gov before submitting a response. So SAM doesn't go away. They have to be registered in SAM, can't get away from that. And then the government will review responsibility related information. Basically, this FAPIIS is basically they want to make sure that the company has never been debarred or has really poor ratings for previous work that they've done for the government. So they're going to look into that. So under Title III, these are the main broad areas that the government is looking to fund: sustain critical production, commercialize research and development investments, and then scale emerging technologies. And I'll go to their website here too in a second, and then I'll kind of show you some of the kinds of things that they're looking to fund. But here's kind of an example of investment areas that they had back in 2021. So they were investing in aircraft, casting and forgings, chemicals, munitions, energy storage, generation, fiber materials, rare earth elements, soldier armor protection, space supply chain, small unmanned aerials. So that kind of gives you an idea of some of the things that they're funding that they feel that is important to national defense. Here's some examples from last year of some of the things that they funded. So this Albemarle Corporation, you can see $90 million was awarded to them to support the expansion of domestic mining and production of lithium. Lithium is really important. We know now in batteries, so government wants to make sure that that they can, as much as possible, not rely on other countries for a source of lithium. Talon Nickel, 20.6 million, likewise to increase domestic production of nickel. And then Jervois Mining is to conduct a feasibility study to expand cobalt extraction in Idaho. And then just this last one is Arconic Corporation is to increase the production of high purity aluminum for use in missile and munition production. I'll wait a few more slides, but I'll take you to this website here where you see this link here, and I'll show you more of the opportunities that they have available. They refer to the opportunities as FOAs. So they're announced through these funding opportunity announcements. And again, you hear people talk about FOAs. They're available on SIAM.gov as well. But if you go to this website, the DoD's industrial policy website, and I'm going to take you there in a second, you can see them, and there's a link there that you can take actually to the SAM website so that you can see the information there. They also post requests for information on this website as well. And with requests for information, oftentimes is that there are looking for things, and it's not quite defined. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So when you're pursuing an opportunity, there are basically two types. There's this open FOA, and there's one that's called a call. And I'll talk first from here about the open FOA. The open FOA component is a somewhat unsolicited proposal, but not complete. The government wants ideas, solution to a need. So they'll kind of define an area where they want someone to submit a proposal on an idea that falls within this topic area that they have developed. So they're asking you for that. Under these open FOAs, the offer is invited to submit a white paper in support of the project proposed by the offerer. The project must be related to the underlying purpose of the FOA. So again, it goes back to this, that they have ideas. They're looking for solution on certain topic areas, and they want you to do that. So when you're responding, they're going to want you to submit a white paper, because again, it's unsolicited, but they got an area that they want someone to look into. One of the things that they're going to want you to, besides just sort of what your idea is, want you to define how your item, your resource material, is essential to national defense. Explain how without government assistance, industry cannot reasonably be expected to provide the needed capability in a timely manner. You know, it could be that, yes, you could do it, but you just don't have the financial resources to do it, or is something that is so cutting edge that it might be hard to go out and find the funding in order to meet the demands of the government. And then action under Defense Production Act Title III, you're explaining why it's going to be the most cost-effective, expedient, and practical alternative for meeting the need of the government. This kind of just gives you this is off of the website I'm going to show you. This kind of just a diagram of the process. So on the left, you know, the the company develops a white paper. They've looked at the unsolicited ideas. They submit it. You can see that on this example that there are 3 white papers were submitted. Some were, you can see here, promising, acceptable, or no, interesting. So the promising one moves forward in the process under this initial evaluation. Then they ask for a full project proposal, and then it goes through it. And then finally, at the end here, it's validated for funding. So this pursuing opportunities calls, this is where it's they're telling you this is what we want. So again, it's not an open FOA where again they're just kind of looking for ideas. It looks a lot like a traditional solicitation that you would see with the federal government. The call seeks proposals for specific requirements identified by the DoD. That's why, again, it's going to look so much just like a solicitation. And then timelines for these calls are generally considerably shorter than open FOAs. The open FOA process can definitely be a little bit longer, and going through all that, developing the white paper and the first evaluation, the second, etc. Let me stop this share and take you to the website. Oops. It's over here. Sorry about that. Let me see, pull this down. All right, there it is. So this is the website for Title III. And again, that's the link that you saw in the presentation. And if you scroll down here, or actually up here, you can see here's opportunities. So if you click on that, you can see here, open all opportunities. And you can see here now some of the stuff that they're looking for. Critical chemical precursors for energetic materials project. Ultra high and high temperature composites for hypersonic strategic missile and space launch systems project. Hydroxyl terminated polybutadiene production capability for DoD munitions project. And this thing goes on and on and on. Alane fuel production capability. So, and then down here you can see here's the RFIs. So again, these are more of the open FOAs. So you can see they're looking for different things. You can see like this one actually has a solicitation number already assigned to it. But I suggest, and that's kind of my last slide, that you spend time on this this website to learn a little bit more about the opportunities and whether some of the things that they're looking for, like in here, is something that you feel that your company or the people that you can put together a team to actually pursue one of these. So let me stop this share and I'll go back to my presentation. Okay. So based upon that website I was at, they have reference to broad agency announcements. And broad agency announcements basically are used when the government is looking to fund oftentimes like research projects, like small business innovative research grants, those types of things. So the FOAS process is real similar to the DoD's process for broad agency announcements may have for a call for proposal. So one of the things that they suggest is to gain better understanding of the FOA process is to go through this website here and look at this document that they have there, and it really walks you through the kind of entire process of how you basically submit an idea and put together a proposal and all of these kinds of things. One of the things that I noticed when I was looking at it, there's reference in here to FedBizOps, which FedBizOps is where the federal government used to post all their contracting opportunities, but then that whole database has been moved over and it's part of contract opportunities in SAM.gov. So if you're here and you're looking at that and you see FedBizOps mentioned in there and you're wondering, what is that? Where is it? It's basically SAM.gov, but the way it outlines the whole procedure that they go through, those types of things, it's actually a really useful document for you. Some final thoughts. One of the things that's important to know is that as far as funding goes, these funding opportunity announcements will generally seek a 50-50 cost sharing on their projects. So they want to see that you as a company have skin in the game. So they're not going to, there are exceptions. Again, there were some in there where there were some grant money there, but even if it's grant money that they don't want you to pay back, they want to see that you're investing some of your own resources into the project. They do have a process that if you make a case that maybe the percentage may be 40, 60 or something like that, they can work with you there, but generally as a rule, they're looking for a 50-50 cost sharing projects. Certainly if the customer is receiving the either the loan guarantee, the loan, or a commitment from the government that they'll buy the products that the company will manufacture, that's guarantees basically kind of like success, profitability. So they want to see again that you have some skin in the game. And so you're going to see these cost sharing principles applied to them. Oh yeah, so this is what I just mentioned. You could ask for a waiver to the 50-50, but you have to justify anything less than 50%. You know, why is it that you can't come up with that? And then as it mentions here, as again, as Title VII addresses the fact that this Defense Production Act funding, they like it to help small businesses, they are more likely to receive waivers. Waivers, though, meaning that you might not meet the 50-50, but again, they still want to see that you've got some skin in the game. So you might be able to get those ratios to be like 30% by the small business, 70% by the government. Again, you making the case of why. Again, go to that website that I just showed you, and this is it again here, but review all the available information there, because again, it'll really help you to kind of understand the scope, what it is that the government is looking to fund, etc. Sometimes things do change. COVID is a perfect example of that, where nobody anticipated the impact it would have on our society. So all of a sudden funding was available for a lot of different, say ventilators as an example. The government said, wow, you know, everybody needs ventilators, so we need companies to step up and start manufacturing ventilators. So they were willing to, you know, put their money to companies that manufacture ventilators and say, you know, you make them, we'll buy them, and then of course we'll distribute them to hospitals across the United States. But by going to this website, like I was just showing you, you'll see like what currently right now they're looking for, either as topic areas for you to submit a white paper, or things that are on a call where they've actually decided, yes, this is something that we need. With that, I'll take your questions. You can put your questions in the Q&A. For some reason, the chat's not working. Our next topic is on April 18th, next Thursday, is going to be on how to market to government agencies. So we're going to take a approach, basically kind of marketing 101, but targeted towards selling to the government. So with that, let's see, I guess maybe chat is working. I don't know why sometimes it works. Oh, does a firm need to have a PI on their team like an SBIR? Well, the answer is no. So again, say if you're just a manufacturer of something, say maybe it's a kind of say as an example, maybe you're a manufacturer of drones, and the government just decides that they would like to see a lot more drones in their inventory. So you just need to increase production. So it's not necessarily that you would need a PI like you would on a SBIR. So then, is it for manufacturer only or for services included? Services are included. So again, what they may want to be funding is you to develop technology. And so by developing technology, you're providing a service. Eventually, it could lead to maybe a manufacturing a product, but services as well. So it says, yeah, so again, what you'd want to do, Joseph, is again, go to that website and see if the services that you provide is something that they're looking at as something that they're looking to fund. Joseph basically says he's a service-based company that supports manufacturing flight tests for aerospace and space. So that's excellent. But again, I can't really answer for them whether or not they see it as a priority or not. So you're gonna have to find that out by going to that website and see what's there. Okay. So again, I'll just mention again that I'm gonna send everybody this presentation. Again, I encourage you to go to that website and learn a little bit more information there. Look at those opportunities that they have there. And then also you'll receive a link to the recording of the presentation should you want to hear it again. So with that, then was one last question. Okay, yeah, it's from Joseph. All righty. So thank you very much. And then hopefully we'll see you next week and we'll talk about marketing to the government. Have a great day.